Hello, I am Kristen Bomas, and welcome to Struck by Enlightenment, where we are on a conscious journey to life mastery. Laughter. We all laugh, some more than others. And we use it for various reasons, sometimes simple expression of self, sometimes healing, and sometimes as a defense. But laughter is something that exists throughout life. And at this time in our lives, many people are looking for laughter to break the tension and the new beginnings that have been put upon us unexpectedly. So let's turn our tables and look at how we express ourselves with laughter. Laughter is through humor, and sometimes just through laughing itself. In our closest relationships, it comes out of seemingly nowhere. It can be just a simple gesture or something that happens that we both kind of relate to. But it's a critical part of the bonding. It opens us. So when we bring laughter and humor into our relationships, we're opening them, usually. But each of us has our own unique style of humor and laughter. And that style of humor is indicative of who we are and what we're about. Some people are going to be a little bit more sarcastic, and they can even get a little judgmental in that sarcasm. And when they do, that judgment is something that's going on inside them. They're still dealing with their own fear of being judged. And so the sarcasm with a little bit or not so little bit of judgment can be their effort to move beyond their own fear of being judged. There's also a playful humor, and that playful humor is a little bit more free and playful, right? But it comes from a person who likes that freedom, who enjoys the playtime in life. And so they're bringing play into the relationship or expressing the play from within them. And then you have those who are very, very intellectual, and they have a very intellectual humor. And they may use puns or slangs or different things to really open up the humor from an intellectual perspective. And then you have those people who use gestures, and they may do something really silly and be more animated in the way they do something, or they may connect all of the above descriptions of humor and put them into one, right? But that person expressing their sense of humor is eliciting laughter out of those around them and out of themselves as well. So it is a way of connecting with people in their lives. When we laugh together, we open the intimacy. We feel more deeply connected to one another. And that intimacy is a very, very important part of our life. That bond deepens as we laugh together. If you've ever been in a relationship with anyone where you both are laughing at the same time, you can feel that deeper connection and that bond with that person. There's an intimate connection at that time. And so in that expression of intimacy, we're really connecting. And when your relationships get to a point where you're having more and more of that deep laughter in unison together, you can feel yourselves releasing things that were barriers and getting closer to a more intimate and deep connection to one another. That then lends to the playfulness in a relationship, right? So if we're more playful in our relationship, we're also letting down our guards, because playtime is creative time, and creative time can be humorous as we make mistakes and laugh at them, or create something new that's very silly and laugh at them. But the playfulness brings the creativity out, and that creativity, again, is deepening the relationship, because in order to be openly and spontaneously creative with the person across from me, my trust needs to be a little bit different than with a relationship where playtime is not as free. So the laughter in a situation like that is going to be connected with the level of trust. And likewise, laughter can deepen the trust. If you can laugh at things together, you can learn to trust a little deeper, a little more, and a little more often. So in that relationship, do we move it forward with our laughter in those cases? Absolutely. Because if we're in a relationship with a life partner or a friend or a best friend, as we're moving forward with laughter, we're teaching about ourselves, we're opening ourselves and sharing ourselves with that other, and so we are absolutely progressing the relationship. And always, as you know, that's an expression of you and who you are. And that expression then connects you to the expression of the other. Oftentimes in life, we get in very serious or fearful situations, right? Maybe something pretty significant happened in the day and it has us worried. and someone who is close to us can make just a little bit of a joke to allow us to laugh over something that happened. If it's a genuine bit of humor that opens, that laughter can be very expressive because it shows you that the person across from you knows the tense feelings that you're having inside and really cares enough to want to open you. Those times can also be tricky, and I'll talk more about them when somebody makes humor out of a serious situation and it's not comfortable. That's usually more of a defense. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But you do want to feel the release. And so oftentimes that laughter at those serious times or those scary times can break that tightness that's inside you, that feeling. And all of a sudden, poof, you're laughing and it's released. And it's an expression of joy. And both parties know we just made progress out of what was happening. So as you can see, as an expression of you, laughter can make you so much more attractive. Even if you're already very attractive, that laughter opens up the attractiveness and the attraction of you to the other person, and of course the other person to you. Your laughter, your humor, can do nothing more than enhance a relationship when it is an expression of self and not a defense. It keeps us very compassionate, so that if I'm really, really connected with you and I'm feeling a love and an acceptance and a warmth towards you, and you go through a difficult time, I may lighten it for you in a way that's connected with you. Or in that compassion, I smile, and together we smile, and then we laugh, and then we get playful, because in that compassion is the acceptance that brings the trust back into the relationship. Anytime we feel the fear-based emotions, we have room to lighten and to release, because that's what we're here to do, is to move through those emotions. And so if we can use laughter and humor to move us through those, then we are actually opening doors in a much more comfortable way than really fighting against those difficult times. Use laughter often. Use it to see others, to learn about others, and to find out, not to find out, but to teach them who you are, right? So it is an expression, and there are many, many, many ways that we can use laughter and humor as an expression of self and as an expression to heal and care about those across from us. So how is laughter part of our healing? Well, I've mentioned several ways just in talking about it as an expression. Oftentimes, and we all know this, there can be a tragic event of some sort. Maybe somebody passes away, and people gather together and they're telling stories, and they tend to go towards those stories that were fun and happy. And so people start to laugh at those old memories, and together you'll sit as a group, everybody laughing at a time when somebody has just passed over. And some people looking in on that may think it's cold and disrespectful and many other judgmental reactions. But what's really happening between those people is they're healing. Their laughter is bonding them together. It's releasing the pain. It's releasing the loss and the grief. And it's allowing them to move through those painful emotions in a way that isn't so painful. So oftentimes it helps us heal. In my own room with people, I use humor to help them move through and see some light at the end of the tunnel by lightening the situation with humor. And so it doesn't mean the situation is funny. It means that we can deal with the situation. We have the tools, and it's going to be okay. And if that message carries through in humor and laughter for you, then you know laughter at that time is being used for healing and progressing your life forward. But laughter actually also heals on a physical level. And it does, so I'm just going to kind of give you some bullet points, because I'm not really going to talk about how it physically heals you, but it does have some specific physical effects when you laugh. It boosts your immunity. As I've described, it lowers your stress levels, and of course then it would lower your stress hormones. And we all know how helpful that is. It decreases pain, because laughter releases your endorphins, right? And endorphins are what cut back the pain. It also allows you to relax. It takes all of that tightness of worry and and it releases it. And in laughter, you relax. And so you're doing great justice to your body in that relaxed state. And if you can be relaxed most of your life, you have made a great big step towards preventing heart disease. So yes, laughter has been shown to have an effect on decreasing heart disease. So the third thing we're going to talk about is how laughter can be a defense. would imagine many of you, if not all of you, know somebody who just giggles all the time. It doesn't matter what's going on, it's and it can be very aggravating. And at times that you tell them a story that's very serious to you and they giggle, you're like, no, this isn't funny, right? No, it's not funny. But it's a consistent giggle. That person who consistently giggles is probably struggling with just being comfortable in life and in their relationships. And so that defense keeps them very light and disconnected from their nervousness and their anxiety within. It can also be a way to stay connected to somebody because they're feeling so disconnected. But whatever it is that's going on inside that person, a person who consistently giggles is struggling on the inside. It has become a tool that they overuse because they don't know how to connect. But then you'll have people who just laugh at inappropriate times, we call it. That's our judgment, by the way. But they laugh at times when it's not funny, right? Why are you laughing when I just told you something that was devastating? Or why are you laughing when I told you that I'm going through a struggle or a mishap? You know, those times are their defense. And that defense for them is because they can't feel the level of emotion that just struck them. So their body shuts that emotion down and moves away from the pain with a laughter. And it can be very, very disconcerting to the person who's not ready to have laughter in their life. That laughter is uncomfortable for you. And when it's uncomfortable, it's not the same as that description that I gave you at the beginning when we were talking about self-expression. A person who's close to you and wants to lighten your load is not going to make you laugh in an uncomfortable way, but in a very warm and comfortable way. So when you feel uncomfortable with laughter, before you take it personally and think they're laughing at you, maybe look at them and see, are they deeply uncomfortable and they don't know how to help you with what you're going through right now? Do they feel inadequate in some way? Are they laughing to cover their discomfort in themselves with what you're going through? And if in fact you can see that in them, you've now opened more doors. You know, you can say, this isn't funny to me, I really need your support right now. And they'll say, oh, I'm not laughing, you know, and you can say, I understand, but it's still uncomfortable for me to experience laughter at this time. Don't hesitate to express your truth at those times, and then help that person get closer to what they're all about at those times. Let that person who wants to be your friend learn how to be your friend. So how do we bring more laughter into our life? What if you're sitting on the other end of this talk going, but I just don't have enough laughter in my life? Well, learn what that is for you. Can you laugh alone? If you don't laugh when you're all alone, then practice laughing when you're all alone. As silly as that sounds, it actually will make you laugh because it's so silly. So just start laughing when you're all alone, and it's going to be awkward, but it may make you laugh. Listen to your laugh. Do you like the way it sounds on the inside when you laugh? Do you like the way it feels? Look in the mirror, smile. That happy smile. And then kind of giggle inside. What does it feel like to just giggle, right? And just feel it. Bring that laughter to the forefront when you're all alone, because then you know who you are as that beautiful person with even more beauty through your laughter and smile. Expressing gratitude on a regular basis lightens your load and allows you to open to greater laughter and greater fun and greater humor. So that can do it. And the other, and I say this to everybody, what kind of a comedy do you like? Do you ever watch them? And if you don't, comedy comes in a plethora of forms. So start watching a variety of comedies until you find what your style is. And let yourself laugh without restraints at all. Because laughter is going to be a beautiful expression, a great healer, and it will move all of your relationships, especially that relationship with yourself, forward. So as you see from what we've talked about today, it is an extremely important expression of who you are. It's a part of your truth. It's a part of creativity. So I wish for each of you that you can open to those aspects, that you can become aware when you're healing through laughter, and you can become aware when you're using it as a defense or somebody else is using it as a defense. And at those times, feel compassion for yourself or the other and ask what might be happening behind those uncomfortable laughter times. Move forward. Always know it's there ultimately to help you heal and grow. So to each of you out there, I wish you a day of great humor and fun, and may you laugh your way to the greatest freedom in this life. Thank you so much for joining me, and please visit KristenBomas.com, where you can easily access all of my social circles.